What's up guys, Adnan here. Hope everyone's keeping well and welcome to the channel. So today's video will be a book review, I guess the first official book review on this channel, and of course we've got many more planned in our pipeline. So if you remember from the video that I put up a few weeks ago detailing my October reading list rundown, I mentioned that I'd be doing book reviews on The Deep by River Solomon and The Skin We're In by Desmond Cole. In The Deep, we are introduced to Yetu, who occupies a very defined role in her society known as the Wajindru, and that role boils down to being the keeper of her people's history. The society that she lives in is an underwater nation, if you will, descended from pregnant African slaves who were thrown overboard by their captors and slave traders during the long transatlantic journey from Africa to the New World. Being this repository for their memories, it goes without saying that Yetu is privy firsthand to the collective horrors and trauma that several centuries later gave rise to her people. Now, when you take into account the harrowing genesis of the society, I think it's pretty fair to say that at this point, Yetu is pretty scarred and she's shouldering burdens that no one should ever have to shoulder. So in a bid to escape the only life she's ever known, her family, her society, her mother with whom she's very close, Yetu escapes and makes her way to the surface where she eventually encounters and befriends a group of human beings. Now, what I planned at the outset was to read certain key passages from the book that hit me really hard. I don't think I'll ever be able to do justice to the book, so the only way I could probably convey a sense of the narrative and Yetu's life and what she's going through is by reading certain parts from the book itself. She dealt with death every day during her rememberings, and more again when she was lucid enough to hunt for food. For once, she wanted to avoid confrontation with such things. Reality, though it may be, it never ceased to trouble her that peace depended on the violent seizing and squeezing out of other creatures. Yetu gave them a script, but they knew the words. It lived in their cartilage and their organs, as coded into them as the shape of the webbed appendages on their front fins or the bulbousness of their eyes. She only need remind them. That was all remembering was. Prodding them lest they try to move on from things that should not be moved on from. Forgetting was not the same as healing. We lurk near the surfaces, hoping to find more Zoti Aleyu. We listen to the talk and chatter of two legs on their massive ships. There are surface dwellers in the bottoms of these ships whose language we understand, whose words are the same Waj had used. They are suffering and scared. They have been robbed from their homes, stolen from their families. Their lives are no longer their own. They belong to the two legs on the decks of the ships. We are descendants of the people not on the top of the ship but on the bottom, thrown overboard, deemed too much a drain of resources to stay on the journey to their destination. The surface dweller is in our arms, heart still beating, but we are too far from any land for us to think of dragging it to an island. It is unconscious, and its belly is round with child. We bring it to the surface so it might breathe, but it never comes to. Underfed and malnourished, this is no surprise. We wonder how close it was to death already before whatever devil who captained that ship abandoned it to the seas. Sometimes it's not the worst thing to lose everything. Sometimes it's good, said Yetu, thinking that for the first time in 20 years, she could feel the ocean now, without it overwhelming her senses. In terms of the style, River Solomon's writing is very lucid, very easy to digest. It's a hauntingly beautiful story, I have to say, and in a year where I've come across some exceptionally fantastic fiction, this book is hands down one of my favorite reads. If you get a chance to pick it up, head down to your local Indigo or bookstore and just pick it up. In terms of concluding thoughts, what I would say is, we need more books like The Deep. We need more writers like River Solomon. We need more people supporting these writers. We need more narratives like The Deep, and we need the word to get out there, especially right now where we are as a society. And in this period in history, we need to reckon with our dark history. If you read the book, if you had the chance to come across it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are your main takeaways thematically? What level of relevance you think it holds for our society and where we are right now? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And Tanz and I will see you soon, so stay tuned.